So the first thing I want to talk about is there's a lot of back and forth with the Ferrari F40 remake or the tribute or the homage.
Isn't it the one that, what's his name is?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I don't know if they're going to release it or not, but there's a lot of people going back and forth, going crazy on social media comments. So you have the Ferrari...
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. The Ferrari customers are going bonkers, especially what really made people crazy was the Testarossa. Now, if you show a picture of the original Testarossa from, let's say, 1988, with the cheese grater on the side, the classic 80s look, that vibe, to the people that are alive and would be interested in buying a Ferrari, that's what they're thinking. That's what's going to give them the warm and fuzzies to get them so excited about the repop of the Ferrari Testarossa. So what came out was something a little bit different. It was very, very different. I'm not going to shit on it. I'm just saying it's very different. But what's happening, there's a lot of pushback and backlash from the community. And they're like, well, what is this? So they'll show like graphic artists on social media that I don't know if they're automotive designers, but they're going in there and fixing it. They should have been this, it should have been that.
Well, the thing is with Ferrari is that it's so brand driven. Like even they don't even like if you do certain modifications to a car. They don't let you purchase certain cars. Like it's very brand driven. They should be listening to the people who are very brand loyal, who say like, oh, it should look like this, it should look like that, and kind of take some influence from it. Because if they change up the look completely or make this big change, like it's just not following the brand, people would be pissed off. They make the wrong move. It's gonna piss people off.
I had some. You got a lot of bootlickers on this on social media, the comments, because they know if they say something against Ferrari that they might not get a chance to get a vehicle that they'll probably never be offered in their entire lives, but they will still lick the boots. They'll go down on the ground and just rub that tongue on the boot, and they'll go, "Oh my God, this clown car looks great." That was really weird, guys. I didn't mean to. I meant to represent licking a boot. So, you know who those people are too, right?
Yeah.
They're the people that will drive the new whatever, no matter what it is. It could look like literally a mouse. The whole car could be in fur. It could have ears and a nose and have whiskers and be a mouse.
And they're making a POV.
And they'd be like, "Oh, that's killer, man. That's great." And all the normal people are like, "The fuck? It's a mouse. It's a mouse. The car looks like a mouse." I'm giving you a comical exaggeration of the insanity that I see, where these spineless people with no balls, no organs, I should say, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that looks great.
I'm excited to if Lewis Hamilton is actually designing a car, I'm excited to see what that looks like. I feel like
people who say that's great, those are not car guys. Those are people that flex and drive Ferraris to show off their wallet. They're not car guys. They don't appreciate the gated manual. They don't appreciate horsepower. They will drive a car running on an Energizer battery if it has a Ferrari badge on it, ladies and gentlemen.
They don't appreciate the natural aspiration.
You're not a car guy. You're a guy that just wants to pull up to the club in Miami and show off that you have the latest SF90. Ferrari. You are not part of the community. You should not be saying anything on the comments. The car does not look like an F40. The car does not look like a Testarossa. Stop licking the boots, because all of us car guys are noticing your comments and what the fuck? Shut up, dude. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? Shut up. I've said my piece. What else are we talking about today?
I'm excited to see if Lewis Hamilton is designing a car.
I hope forbid,
it's good.
I hate to say it. I think it's the SC40. Look it up. SC40. I think that might be it.
What he designed?
I don't know, but it's not. It doesn't. The only thing that I can think of logically, and I have nothing but respect and love for the brand Ferrari. I love the lineage. I love the racing history. I love the logo. I like all that stuff, right? But I have the models that I like. And as we change and evolve and all this hybrid stuff, there is a big piece of the community that doesn't like it.
Okay.
That's why you see brands like Pagani that's like, hey, yeah, you can keep doing the nonsense. We're going to stick with the V12. We're not playing games. You have brands like McLaren, you have brands like that are not going to adopt. Here's the thing, drum roll. Drum roll. Are we ready? They're not going to adopt what their customers don't want. Isn't that amazing? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a thing that would drive a customer to buy your product, right? And rather than going against the grain and not giving the customer what they want and thinking magically you're going to be able to sell your product, that's a whole different bag of shit. I don't know what to call it. That's a whole different bag of worms, can of worms, whatever. Apples and oranges. When you're selling a product, you have to, please keep in mind what your customers want. Who is your market? What gets them crazy and excited about your product? People buy on emotion, right? If people buy on emotion and the older models have that psychological trigger and it brings back memories of their childhood because the vehicle was on a poster in their bedroom, you're going to sell the vehicle on an emotional buy, which is the best buy that you could ever get, because if someone buys something out of emotion, you're providing them some sense of comfort and satisfaction and nostalgia and memory that's making them happy. And I made a comment about how Chevrolet is, Dodge, when they came out, when Dodge and Ford came out with the nostalgic style vehicles like the Mustang and stuff like that, and the Challenger and all that stuff. So like people saw those designs, which were reminiscent to the 70s and 80s, and they were, oh my God, it blew up. People went crazy over it. Some guy in the comments goes, yeah, thank God you ain't designing cars, because you would cheapen the brand. What the fuck are you talking about? People buy on emotion. People are emotionally connected to the nostalgic designs of a vehicle design from their childhood when they maybe couldn't afford to buy a car, or maybe they couldn't afford to buy that car on the poster. They would see it on the road, they would want it. Ooh, wow. But now it's old, right? Imagine coming out with something new with the same model, the same name, right? But it was modernized suspension, all that stuff, like almost like a resto mod, but it's a new vehicle, it's a new car. That would hit upon the psychological triggers with your market. Let's remember that it's about your customer, it's not about you. Give your customers what they want. The comment that, like, the guy was like, yeah, thank God you don't own thank God you ain't designing cars. I was like, you are such a bootlicker. I didn't even respond. I didn't want to get into the back and forth, because I can't stand people who hold conversations or arguments on comments. That's the most insane thing in the world. If you got an issue, send me a private message like a man. Why do you need to show off on comments? Why are you exposing every nipple? What are we doing? Hit me up on the private message and say, hey, I don't agree with you. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You don't have to talk about it on the comments.
Lewis Hamilton has not designed a Ferrari, but he's expressed a strong desire to create a modern supercar called the F40 called the F44 inspired by the F40. So yes, he wants to.
Please.
But he has not yet.
But it needs to have the key designs. It needs to have the proper size.
Talking about gating and stuff like that. Like,
it needs to have the let me give you guys a guide. Here's a quick F40/F44 guide. This is just my opinion. I'm a car guy. I love car design. I love fast cars. So I'm going to give you kind of a quick little guide. Now, if you look at the F40, you will notice that it has, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Round tail lights.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, round tail lights. This is a piece of the brand that people have remembered since the 1980s and 70s when it comes to Ferraris, and especially the F40. If you're repopping it, we don't need to use Chevy Camaro shaped taillights. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a Chevy Camaro. Let's take those wacky taillights and get rid of them, especially for the F40 redesign. Okay, we want the wing to have about the same height, maybe not as aggressive because, maybe change in times, maybe lower the wing a little bit, okay? On the front fenders, on the sides, you want to make sure that it has that pop-out feature, very similar to the original F40, ladies and gentlemen. On the side, you want the same cuts and indents, as well as the rocker panel design matching the same, but modernize it. We want it to look like an F40. We want the rear bonnet to lift up in the similar way, okay? Maybe this time not having to use a stick like the original F40. Maybe this time we have the pistons or whatever the hell those things are called, the gas-filled things that keep up a trunk hood. Maybe we'll use that. We want a V8. Let me repeat that one more time. We, the people, want a V8 with turbo, like the original F40, okay? Secondly, thirdly, fourthly, what else do we have? We want it to be, again, ladies and gentlemen, gated. What does gated mean? It means that you have the dogleg shifter right in the center console that allows you to change gears. This is very important to car guys, because it allows the experience to be much different than the paddles. I respect the paddles, even though its lineage is from F1, which is cool. That's why I like it. But I want the shifter. If the F40 comes out with a repop, I want the shifter.
It has to be gated. Yeah.
And I need the motherfucking steering wheel to. I know you got to put the airbag in the bullshit, but try to bring it in so it has that nostalgic look. I want that gray carpeting material on the dash, but modernized and slick. Not so boxy, modernized and slick like the more modern Ferraris. You can modernize everything, but keep those elements that are the DNA of the F40. Round tail lights, gray carpeting on the dash. We want all those elements on the hood, the headlights. Now, let me talk about the headlights. Keep the headlights the way they were on the F40, modernize them, but they don't need to bleed over to the side for the love of ass. You don't, what is going on? It's not a Saturn. It's not a Saturn. Red seats made out of the same material as the original. It's like that nylon, the racing seats, right? You can use the Daytona style seat, just make it red with like a white horse embroidery in the back, or black behind the head.
Or yellow?
Maybe. But those key things that I said, and here's the other one. The rear window needs to be Lexan, like the original one. Now, if you look at the Ferrari Tributo, they did do that, which is really, really, really cool. Shout out to Ferrari. I think that's awesome. But we got to apply that creativity and that nostalgia to this F44 if they do it. And then lastly, make it available so anybody can order it. Don't make it a special... Don't make it a Ferrari thing. Just make it into its own thing that someone can order. No problem.
I'm surprised that you said that.
Why?
Well, they likely would not make it gated if it was mass produced. First thing.
Why? What?
Because you'd want to have the options to do.
Why is the tooling such a big deal that you can't, enough people want gated that.
Why would you want it mass produced? I'm kind of surprised you said that.
Well, when it's not, it's virtually impossible to get. And when it changes hands, the first time it changes hands, it doubles in price. Then it triples in price. And then it gets so high that you're like...
But it's a tribute to the F40.
But then you're like we're talking Pagani money. Like, what are we doing? It hits a point where it's like, all right, like, The only
I
two,
guess, yeah,
only two, or I should say, all right, there's four.
Yeah.
There's four
La
Ferraris
Ferrari.
that I'm like, okay, is the LaFerrari, the Enzo,
Yep.
the F40, and
The
Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona.
Those are the ones I'm like, okay, well, it's a lot. It's a lot for the vehicle, and I'm not trying to disrespect values or anything like that, but it's like the people who
I can see
buy
what
it
you're
first.
saying.
The people, okay, so the people who bought an Enzo, they paid $500,000 for it. It's worth $4 million right now. Every time it changes hands, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up. It's just part of the ecosystem of how it works. Now, I have a true appreciation and a true love for these vehicles, but then like you see these values just go sky high, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like you almost, in my opinion, you almost feel dumb to even consider it. You're like, what? Like when you see those values hit those numbers, and then you're comparing, okay, well, that's Bugatti type of.
It's interesting because like the rugged and the raw, the tribute of the F40, I don't see being mass produced. But like, it's interesting, like, because the ones that are mass produced is like the California, the F8, the 488, 450, all the,
But I think that the customers deserve something like that. Like okay, everybody could order the
It's
SF90.
interesting.
Anybody could order
SF90 is another,
the SF90, but make it like the SF90. Like back in the, I don't think there was a big restriction for the F40. I think if you were a Ferrari customer, you could get the F40 back in the day. I'm not sure. Don't quote
I think
me on that.
it's probably going to be different versions of it if they were to do it right. The F44 something, and then the F44 just like a 488, 458, stuff like that. I don't know. That's interesting. Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like, subscribe, and post notifications. Peace out. See you next time.